How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome back to Fellowship. Now, this is going to be a quick start guide to get you going in Fellowship, so that you can be doing the best rotation humanly possible with the basic toolkit that they provide you with these characters. Now, some things may change come early access launch, but this is what we're working with at the moment. There is a bunch of things in this game to build out your character. There's a bunch of rewards you can get, there's talent options you can get, and then there's going to be stat builds as well. This is not going to be covering any of that. I will be doing individual beginner's guides as time goes on per character, but we only have so much time for the open beta at the moment, and I want to do all of these to make sure that you guys are getting the best start possible in Fellowship, so then you can go about building out your characters and doing all the sort of fancy stuff that you can do as you progress. And I also want to make sure that I make these for myself, for when early access comes around, I can look back and get a quick start myself as well. So, this is Sylvie. She is the Resto Druid of sorts, but she's even easier than Resto Druid. Resto has you doing a lot of different, like, heal over time management and all that sort of stuff. She kind of does, but she's also kind of insanely easy, which, in fact, she is so easy that you might actually have a problem getting into a game playing as Sylvie, because she is so popular. As you can see me with two others here, there's actually an overabundance of healers and an underabundance of tanks and DPS. This is the first MMO where there's actually too many support players. I know, it's crazy, but it's also a testament to just how much fun and how easy she is across the board. So, with that being said, how does she play and what does she do? So you'll see right here she has these indicators. These are for her butterflies or flutterflies, flutter call. Yeah, flutterflies, I think it is. So these are basically your, think rejuvenation, your renew on the Holy Priest, those sorts of things. You'll see that my flies are still ticking away on these guys as I run away and do whatever. While I go and I cast the DPS abilities or whatever have you, you'll see that my basic heal over time is perpetually, permanently on them. And that's because you can command where they go with your Flutter Call Heal. This will assign one of your flies to an ally, and you have 4 of them, so you can have one on every single ally. And then you can manually heal yourself by bringing one of them back to you. Which, if you don't have anyone targeted, it will manually bring it back to you. So you can also, I believe, recall most of them using the same method. And with this is going to be your primary method of healing. It's literally just passive rejuvenation. Throw it on people who are taking damage, and they should be good to go. Now, you can increase that healing through a plethora of ways. With your Flutter Call Protect here, this will make it so you can send the blue one, the one right in the middle of your screen here, to a specific target. And whichever one has the blue one on it will take 150% increased healing from your healing effects across the board. Now, if you have the blue one on you, you will do more healing to all allies by 50%. So essentially, it is literally this simple. If we have the blue one on us, we want to have as many of the flies out, because then we'll be taking AoE healing, and then keeping the blue one on us will give us increased healing output, which will then make the AoE healing do that much more across the board. However, if someone's getting bursted, what you want to do is then send the Protect to that target if they're low HP, because then now they're going to be getting a much bigger heal than the other people. But you combine this with the Restore Life, which will send 2 of your butterflies to that target, and it will do a nice big burst heal, plus leave an extra heal over time on target as well. So this is effectively Swift Mend. So we have Rejuve, Regrowth, and Swift Mend, kind of the best way to put it. Then we also have mushrooms. Well, not so much mushrooms, because we also have literal mushrooms we can throw at people, but we basically have Druid Mushroom. So on a 60-second cooldown, we will drop our life pedal, which will spread up near you and perpetually heal people for a reasonable amount of damage, reasonable amount of healing, preferring the ally with the lowest health. Each time it heals, it will heal less and less, and then it will spawn these little shroom dudes, and you can fling the shroom dudes at people to get a nice bit of burst damage. You can make a surprisingly good DPS build. I have seen people do it. It is hilariously stupid. Although I don't particularly play her like that. So, the other abilities she has access to, she can increase her movement speed and reduce her threat to all nearby enemies. So, if you wind up accidentally pulling something, you can pop this and get the absolute fuck out of dodge very, very quickly, which is really nice. And then she has Cleanse, or Dispel, basically. Removes all harmful magic effects from target ally. This won't remove bleeds or poisons or that sort of stuff. So certain things you'll see on your UI can be cleansed. You can then just use mouse over as well, since it's also mouse over healing by default. You'll see I was clicking them just out of instinct, but so long as you mouse over the frame, it will automatically mouse over heal. So that means that you can heal via your overall HUD down here, or you can heal by doing it manually and observing the battlefield like an actual good healer. So then you can redirect things as you need to and go about healing that way. So like I said, just keep your flutterflies on targets. Now keep in mind, since this moves 2 of them around, you kind of want to keep like 2 on demand and then make sure you've got the right buffs ticking on the right people at the right times as well, right? So then you can just fling them around. You can also... Oh, I did it in the wrong order. You can also do it where you set up the flutter call to go off, and then you throw the blue one, purple one, blue one, I think it is, right? At them afterwards, and if you do it at just the right time, you'll be able to get that healing burst to go off at right when it lands. However, it's just a lot easier to just do it this way. You don't have to gamble with timing, but you can do it that way if you need to. And then after that, we're going to have Prickly Vine, which will summon a vine that will just throw projectiles at things, which is really nice. And then when this disappears, it will despawn and spawn a mushroom. This lasts for 27 seconds. It has a 9-second cooldown. So if you're fighting against a boss, you can just spawn a bunch of these, which will allow you to get relatively good DPS, whilst also retaining your relatively good heal uptime. Like I said, she is designed to be easy. She's designed to be the intro healer for people who do not know how to heal. So quite literally, you have a passive DPS button and a passive heal button. And then you have a protect the target button and big heal. And then you pull back that and you spread heal. And like so, you literally just sit here, you wait it out. Oh no, somebody's taking damage. You pop your big life pedal. That'll start burst healing them. And then you can fling your other stuff at them to get even more of a burst heal with the Flutter Call Embrace into Restore Life. And then, if you have nothing else to do, for whatever reason, which you generally won't, you'll always have something to do while healing. Something's always going to go wrong. That's just the nature of the game. You then have your filler DPS spell, which will make it so the cooldown of your life pedal is reduced by 1.5 seconds each time you hit with it, and by 3 seconds if you crit. Which is just going to give you some cooldown reduction on your big oh shit tranquility, basically. Yeah, this is tranquility. I just realized it heals the nearest enemy every 2 seconds, preferring lowest health ally. Yeah, that's trank. That's tranquility. Okay. So let's take a look at her elite very quickly that you're going to be gaining access to. Call upon Dreamflies to protect 4 players by evenly distributing all health between them every 2 seconds over 10 seconds. Upon arriving, they'll also spawn 6 vines near you as well. So this is basically Spirit Link from Restoration Shaman, which is exceptionally powerful if you know how to use it. This will also grant you haste and mana recovery. Of course, she has mana to watch out for as well, so be very, very careful that you're not spamming your abilities way too often, because you're going to run into mana problems relatively often. It's not that bad, but Vigor's got a lot of mana problems, I've found. But she can just get a lot of passive healing, so she can just sit there and let her mana regen while her healing still continues to go. So, all in all, she is exceptionally fun, exceptionally easy. So much so that so many people are playing her, you probably can't find a game with her because there is too many people queuing as Sylvie that her queue time is actually insanely long. So it's not just you, it is the nature of the system, I guess. I don't know. It's a supply and demand problem, I suppose, at the end of the day. But yeah, that is how she works. How would I go about building her? I'm going to say haste. I've said haste for like every other character. I just like people being fast. But no, in this case, it's the same thing as with Artios. With Artios, you want haste because your dots will tick faster. In Sylvie's case, you want haste because your heal over time will tick faster. Every 3 seconds will get cut down and sped up from your haste, allowing you to get more heal over time effects pretty much perpetually. This will also increase your life pedal healing, I would assume anyways, because they're all heal over time effects. So with that, it will make it so you can get even more out of that. If the haste also affects your prickly vines, which you get a bunch of, you'll then also get the bonus vines from the ulti. So when you pop this and then go into a boss fight and pop your ulti, then you'll just get a bunch of stuff going absolutely crazy. And then you have Shroom Explosion, which will make all of your mushrooms fly at targets. Every time one of your vines expires, you'll get a bunch of mushrooms, and then you can throw the mushrooms for like a big healer do something moment, you know? Which is always really fun. We'll see, I get a little mushroom every time the thing despawns, and he goes and flies and explodes. Really cute. Big, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say what I was gonna say. Big druid vibes, put it that way. But yeah, so this is going to make it so, like I said, you get 6 of them with a bunch of haste. Stack that on top of the other haste, and then when you spawn everything, it's like playing a pseudo-summoner. You have a bunch of stuff spawn, does a shit ton of damage for you. The haste will make those things attack faster. It'll make your flutterflies heal all that much quicker. It'll make your tranquility tick faster. And then after everything despawns, you just fling it all at them and call it a day. It will also speed up the cast time of your Nettle Bolt, which will mean your filler time will actually refund your life pedal that much quicker. I don't know if the math is going to come out to crit gives you more cooldown reduction or haste gives you more cooldown reduction because casting faster and whatever have you, right? There's also something to be said about like the cast itself being done quicker, which then means you can move out of mechanics faster, or you can get to the next input that you need to do to then fix whatever problems coming at you, and etc, etc, etc. So, I would suggest haste if you're looking for a very simple build for Sylvie. She is exceptionally fun, and very, very easy. A very good starting healer, and a very good healer for people just getting into both Fellowship, MMOs, and even just healing in general. They built a very, very beginner-friendly character for one of the toughest roles in MMOs by far, which is why she's so popular. Thank you for listening. Let me know if you find anything cool with Sylvie or any fancy stuff as we get later into the beta. Like I said, we only have a couple days, so I just wanted to make sure everyone gets the best start humanly possible. So if you find any fun stuff, do tell me, and I will probably make use of it at some point. Take care.